Hello everyone, I am BP31 and today we are going to be going over some of the strategies in Super Mario Odyssey Normal Triple Bingo. Bingo is essentially a subset of the categories in Odyssey that you get a 5x5 bingo card that will appear on the bottom left of my screen here, and you need to figure out which three rows, columns, diagonals are the fastest to do one after each other. So to start out bingo, this isn't a really necessary step, but you can set up an offset for daylight savings time abuse. In case you end up planting the seed in sand, it'll grow eventually a little bit quicker, so it's a nice little backup potential thing to have for yourself, and it makes that go a little bit quicker. Not super necessary because it only loses about 4 seconds to go do that manually, but nice to do, just in case it ends up working out. So, getting right into it, going to start off going through Cap Kingdom. Cap Kingdom is going to be the same exact thing with one exception every single time. It's a very nice chill kingdom to start off with. You can do it pretty quickly on autopilot and look through the bingo card the entire way through. So you can see what I'm doing to start. I'm starring the really slow goals on the bingo card, and that's just to see, okay, which lines do I want to avoid? The slowest tiles on the bingo square are going to go to snow or seaside, and then afterwards metro. There's only 3 snow or seaside tiles on this card. So I'm like, okay, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to be able to avoid it. But unfortunately, you're going to end up going to metro. Some tiles that I didn't mark that are going to day metro are 3 moons from wooded crates and plant 5 seeds total. So you're actually going to need to get all the way to day metro in order to complete this card. So I'm like, well, in that case, it's not really good to eliminate snow seaside options because finishing out day metro isn't the worst thing in the world. So this is all going through my head while I'm doing this movement. It's pretty nice. You get used to it, and you just sort of have to know how to think on your feet. That's the big thing about bingo. The most important thing about being in bingo is you need to decide on a route relatively early and one that's not the worst. And then you need to commit to it. You need to figure out what movement you're going to be doing to be as efficient as possible going through your goals. Typically, you're going to lose out a bingo match by your route. However, if you play poorly within the route, then you're going to lose a lot more time than if you just didn't commit to one from the get-go. So keep that in mind throughout the run. So essentially what I'm thinking right now, what are my best options? I'm currently looking at a snow finish because you have 2 barrier moon snow and 3 barrier moon snow. I'm not entirely thinking about the early finishes being day metro because although it's nice not to have to go to snow, it is also pretty necessary on this card because if you are going to do a metro finish, you're going to have to purchase a lot of moons, which is pretty slow for a metro finish. You're going to have to get 7 moons from 8-bit sections, which is very slow as you either need to enter the inverted pyramid or do the slow Cascade sub-area and the slow 2D section in Cascade. You're probably going to need to plant 5 seeds total, which is also not the fastest thing in the world. And you're going to need to get 26 moons in wooded, it looks like. So, oh, and also you might even need to do. Oh, I think you actually also need to do 2 moons from Goombas, and that's an interesting one. 2 moons from Goombas. It looks like a very innocuous goal, but you either need to complete World Peace in Sand, or get to Snow and Seaside to get your second one. So, best to avoid that goal as well. So I'm thinking, okay, very tempting to go for an early finish, just because you don't need to go progress as much through the game, but I'm thinking, probably a good idea to do a snow or seaside. Then I'm thinking, okay, seaside is in line with 26 moons wooded and 60 regional coins wooded. Those goals are not terrible, but since I'm going to be going all the way to seaside, I'd like to avoid them, so it's better to look at the options for snow. And the options for snow are 2 barrier moon snow and 3 barrier moon snow. So I'm like, well, okay, I can unmark those and then start looking at lines that incorporate those 2 goals. And the immediate ones that pop out are row 1 and column 1. Column 1 gets you 25 regionals in Lake, not too bad, especially if we're going to get Captain Toad in Lake. 3 moons from Wooded Crates, which is also very synergetic with getting a lot of purples in Lake. And 25 isn't really that many, so you can just get a bunch of flip ones there. 7 full costume sets isn't ideal. You need to get 3 from purple coin shops, and then 4 yellow coin ones, ideally. That's not the fastest, especially because purchasing is pretty slow. but since you're getting 40 regional coins from Metro, you're probably going to get an outfit moon there. 25 regionals lake, okay, I'm probably going to get one there. But now I need to figure out what my last line is. And there's a few decent options. Row 2 isn't terrible, as I'm highlighting right now. I can do that. But all the other lines have something a little bit unpleasant in them, except for column 2, and we'll get to column 2 in a second. 26 moons from Wooded is not ideal. Plant 5 seeds is not ideal. 60 regionals Wooded isn't ideal. You just straight up can't do 4 checkpoints in Seaside. It's just not worth it. Koopa Trace Walking isn't ideal. Purchase 6 moons isn't ideal. So I'm like, alright, well, that leaves me with column 2 or row 2. And from those two, I think the choice is probably going to be column 2. Because although it does require you to backtrack to cap, you're getting 15 regional coins in cap, which makes way for a really, really quick and easy costume set. You're getting 6 checkpoints in sand, which synergizes very nicely with the 3 warp painting moons, because if you go to lake first, then you're going to have access to a 6 checkpoint in sand, and you're also getting the outfit door in sand, which contributes to the 7 costume sets. So I'm like, okay, sick. This is looking pretty solid. I have a route, and I'm ready to go. So at this point in the run, I'm getting my 2 sub-area moons from Cascade. These are the easy options, and as a bonus, it lets me get a lot of coins to help out with the rest of the run, since I'm going to be buying 7 full costume sets, so I need 800 yellow coins, as well as the coins that I need for moons. So I'm like, sick. Awesome. And here we go, marking my first goal. A little bit under 6 minutes. Typically, you're not going to see goals marked that quickly, but here we are. Very nice. So, that's the end of Cascade, and that's the last we're going to be seeing of the Kingdom. One of the cool things about Bingo is you get to see a lot of areas of the game that you might typically not, and one of those is a revisit to Cascade. There's a few reasons for this. Revisiting Cascade spawns the shopkeeper in this kingdom, and that could be useful for goals about purchasing costume sets if there's an early finish, and you're not going to unlock enough yellow coins to buy all of them, and you have a lot of regionals in Cascade. It's also good because it spawns an extra moon alongside the shop moon. And it's also good because it has access to the hint art that spawns from Lake Kingdom. So, very nice to see that really unseen area of the game that has a lot of unique movement and interesting stuff used, but unfortunately not going to come into play in this bingo, but very possible. You need to basically think about all these possible options when you're looking at a card for the first time, thinking, okay, what could I do? What routes string these goals together really nicely? And ideally you want to have something that's not too complicated, which is kind of what I have working with right here. And you also want to have something that you're confident you can do the movement for. Because there are some things that require strats, like the IP skip, IP clip, and a bunch of other things that kind of make it a little bit weird to come up with a good route if you're incapable of doing some of these strats. Starting off, going to be wearing the sombrero outfit from Sand, because I need to get the outfit door, and this might be surprising, but I'm not going to buy a moon here. The moon here is not particularly fast, and I need the coins to get 7 full costume sets. Plus, looking at the sand route, I'm like, well, I need to be traveling around the kingdom to get 5 checkpoints, because I'm going to get my 6th, like I mentioned earlier, when I go through the painting. I need to get 5 checkpoints. There's 1. So I'm going to be needing to go around the kingdom. There'll be a lot of opportunities to get quicker moons than the shop. So that was a spur-of-the-moment decision. And this is another spur-of-the-moment decision that is actually a misplay. The slots moon is not very fast, and there are most definitely faster ones throughout the route. For example, I'm not going to be taking notes on the palm. That would have definitely been faster, and I believe employees only also would have been faster. I also did not get a chance to use daylight savings time to go to seed. The seed also is a possible option to be a little bit quicker. So that room is a little bit of a misplay, but not the end of the world. Going to be grabbing the bird moon now, and then getting rumble room, and then heading in to get the outfit. The outfit moon. Sand outfit door is not very fast, but it's one of the quicker outfit doors just because you're able to buy the outfit really early on in the kingdom because there's 15 regional coins right up front. But here we are. Going to be dancing with some new friends. Pretty nice. and then we'll be on our way. Hovering my cursor over there. So up next, what I'm thinking with the routing, I'm like, okay, so the rest of sand, I want to be getting coins. That is for certain, because I keep mentioning this, but the 7 full costume sets requires 800 coins, and that's a good chunk. So I'm like, alright, I want to visit the Sphinx room for some coins. I also decide not to get on the top of a dune. That would have been a quick moon, but I already have plenty in the extra one from slots, so not the end of the world. Then I grab this checkpoint very quick on the way. Some nice all moons movement, actually. And now I'm setting up Dram. There we go. Pretty cool strat. You leave Cappy up there. Then do a capture warp to get back up top. And breaking this crate moon, the first of the 3 necessary. Now capturing this bullet bill, grabbing another one of these checkpoints that I need in sand, and getting ready to go through the rest of the round. So now I'm preparing to get into the Sphinx vault. Lost in the luggage is an interesting decision. I think it's a pretty quick moon if you're going to talk to the Sphinx, but this route has been pretty obsoleted. Typically, you want to either get to the Sphinx by doing a platform clip that unfortunately I was not in a good position to show off, or by exiting it and then continuing with the route a different way. But since I grabbed the checkpoint earlier and don't need any extra moons like Beneath the Flowing Sands, I decide just to warp out of the Sphinx to that checkpoint I just grabbed, and then continue on with the route. So doing some quick math here, I'm like, alright, I need 5 more moons. I can get those really easily by finishing out a really beginner version of the any % sand route. So that's what I do. Oops, a little bit of a miss on that spin through roll, can't still capture the bullet bill, but time for Jaxie skip. This is something you're basically never going to see at any level of play anymore. It's kind of cool. It's a very iconic trick because it's difficult and basically every casual learns it, but once you get to a like 101, 102 level, you're going to start doing movement that skips it. So, nice to know how to do it. Very useful in bingo a lot of the times. Another thing you'll do in bingo a lot is buy the Jaxie. I didn't have any reason to in this one, but it allows you to get around the kingdom really quickly. And here we are. This will be my 5th checkpoint. I got the one at the beginning of the ruins, the one that I warped to, the one at Jaxie ruins, this one, and the one at the very beginning. So that's it. That's my 16 moons and my 5 checkpoints. Now, as long as I select Lake first, my route will be like totally ideal. I'll be able to take the warp painting from Lake back to Sand, grab that checkpoint, and then be on my merry way. So, pretty good Sand, very quick. Got all of the goals that I needed done. Have my Wooded Crate Moon. I have an outfit, and getting ready to go. My 5 checkpoints, I'm going to finish it up. Unfortunately, this is kind of sad, but my muscle memory from every other category that I've run took over. I went to Wooded first, which is a totally silly thing to do, because when you go to Wooded first, it's 1 slower because you need to forcibly take your tick down and skip that. So I felt very silly in the moment when I did this, but I was also thinking, okay, well, if I get my last of the 3 warp painting moons in Metro, I'm going to need to do a painting warp to get back to Wooded, because if you don't go Wooded first, if you go Lake first, then unfortunately what's going to happen in Metro is you're going to have access to only to Lake, through the warp painting, and you already get the lake warp painting moon with lake clip later in the run, so can't do that. So I had a brain fart there. It'll be okay. I'll show off what the route would have looked like if I hadn't made that mistake at the end of the route, as well as correct it. So we'll see what happens. So there we have it. That was Cap. I kind of glossed over it, but that's another really cool thing about Bingo. Typically, in Cap, you get to have a pretty quick revisit. You can get a few moons that are really cool, unique, and you don't get to see in really many other categories. And you get a lot of purple coins that are really fast. So I got 15 really quick ones. Got an outfit, so I'm 2 out of 7 right now. And really I only need 3 purple coin ones because I'm going to buy 7 later on. Sorry, buy 4 later on with yellows. And then I'm done with Cap. No moons to moon dump or anything. So here comes Wooded. So I'm looking at Wooded in that Odyssey cutscene. I'm like, I haven't thought this far ahead in the route, but I'm realizing, wait a sec. There's absolutely 0 goals that apply to Wooded. There are no purple coins. You can't get any Wooded crate spoons in Wooded. There's no way to get any of the painting moons early that's realistically RTA viable. There's technically a way, but not worth doing. You don't need to get the moons from Goombas. I'm like, wow, this is pretty nice. So I'm like, I'm kind of schmoovin'. I'm like, sick. I can literally just do any percent Wooded, so I get to do a nice little commentary of the tricks in this. I take it a little bit safe because in Bingo you don't really want to be going for the absolute hardest strats in case you mess up and lose a lot of time. But just working my way through the any percent route, getting this Nut Moon, and I'm going to be setting up for Nut Clip. So Nut Clip has a whole bunch of different uses in this category. A really common goal. So essentially the way that goals are created in Bingo is you get a magic square, a 5x5 magic square with goals rated from 1 to 25, and you make, oh, here's Nut Clip by the way. And you make a magic square, so all of the lines total up to the same value in points. And that's how you get a theoretically balanced Bingo card. 60 regional coins in Wooded is one of the fastest high-rated goals, so that is one that you're going to see very commonly. When you do Nut Clip, you can go back in bounds and get a lot of really quick regionals up at the top of the kingdom. You can go around, do gate skip like you do in World Peace, All Moons, Darker Side, a bunch of categories. Or you can do the any percent Nut Clip movement and get a bunch of quick moons just to finish the kingdom quickly. Or satisfy a moon game. There's a whole lot of different options for it, and one of the most ubiquitous tools in this category. Very nice to have. So, I got it no problem there. A little bit of an issue with, on the fence, getting that checkpoint for safety in case I die. And actually getting this triple jump off the rail, setting up for this trick. Unfortunately, I messed up the second ramp triple, but it was still pretty cool. I'm glad I got that. It's been a while since I've done any percent movement, so I was a little bit scared going into this. But setting up a Flower Road skip here. Very, very nice. I was very happy with this Wooded, because I have not done much Wooded practice, or any percent practice for that matter, so getting a pretty clean Wooded was very satisfying. One of my favorite kingdoms in the game. That spin throw roll cancel. Nobody does it. I don't think it's actually faster, but it's really cool. There's a lot of stuff in Wooded that you can kind of just do a little bit differently than other people. It's about the same speed, or whatever you're most comfortable with. Really improvisation heavy kingdom. And that's one of my favorite things about this game. Excuse me. And there's so many movement options, and having something that adequately shows them all off is one of the best things you can ask for, and that's why I love Bingo so much. But here we go, finishing out the rest of Wooded. A little bit of a mistake there. But spiritless, classic stuff for an any percent runner. Wooded pipes. I think this is the point here where I realized my mistake with going to Wooded first. Because I wasn't thinking about it quite early enough on to correct for it to beat Spirit and go back up to the top, although I think that probably wouldn't have been worth it anyway. It's debatable, but beating Spirit requires an entire route change, and it's a big pain. Unfortunately, I messed up pipes because I was thinking about that. I'm like, oh shoot, what am I going to do? And ultimately I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to have to revisit Sand Kingdom. And the best time to do that would be right now in order to avoid a moon dump. But I was also thinking, you know, I would basically be able to show off what the run would look like if I'd gone to Lake first, if I do it at the very end. So for the sake of the showcase, I was thinking, alright, I'll play it out, mention the mistake, and keep going. So coming up next, since we did Wooded first, it's time for Lake. Now, in Lake here, I make a very minor misplay in getting an extra moon that's on my route. Loses about 3 seconds, I think. Moon spawn, moon animation takes about 3 seconds, and I had to spawn it in, so maybe like 5. But Lake is an interesting one, because you only need 8 moons to complete the kingdom, and typically those moons are going to be locked behind beating Spewart, the peace section of the kingdom. So you need to be careful with the ones that you decide to get. I need a moon from Lakitu Fishing, I need a Warp Painting moon, I need Captain Toad from Lake, that's 3, and then I have to choose 2 other ones that are the fastest to get. So at the very beginning, I decide, okay, one of my fastest options is definitely going to be this moon around the Lake Clip area, because it's basically no time loss besides the 3-second animation to set up Lake Clip. So here we go, getting the clip first try. And then I'm doing a little bit of a different variation of the clip here, because I need to get 25 regionals in there. So instead of getting the moon that you normally get in any percent, I'm going down a little bit, grabbing some really quick purple coins, and making my way through the rest of the kingdom. I really like this APC route. Oh, I missed the purple there? Not the end of the world since I only need 25, but I didn't remember that. So here we are. That'll put me at this will put me at my second moon in Lake. And I think that's 12 purple coins in. Now doing some quick speed strats to beat Rango. And the three other moves that I need, since I've already gotten 2, are going to be Captain Toad, the Wooden Crate moon, and the Lakitu Fishing. I'll need that, and then to get some other purples. So the purple route is pretty straightforward once you know where all of them are. Requires a little bit of memorization to figure that all out, but they're really on the way in. It's one of the best ones to get all purple coins in, has the fastest route relative to the any percent route, I believe, except for Wooded and maybe Cascade. I think Cascade is a little bit slower than Lake. They're actually really comparable now I'm thinking about it. But here's the extra moon I get. Very on the way. Not at all that big of a deal, but minor time loss. But it also sets up nicely for these 4 purples, so honestly, the muscle memory, having that and going in that direction in some movement that I already knew how to do from all moons, kind of nice, but definitely debatable. So here's the moon from Lakitu Fishing. And you'll see, oh wow, directly after grabbing this moon, you're in such a nice position to go through the painting. So I'm like, ah, sick. Oh wait, shoot, it's not sand, like I realized. So that's truly unfortunate. Instead, I'm going to be going to Luncheon Kingdom, getting my second Warp Painting moon. By the way, earlier when I did Lake Clip, the moon at the top there was a Warp Painting moon, and it counts towards the goal. So this is my second one. There's a little bit of a cooldown before we're able to use a painting a second time, so waiting a little bit and then able to go back through, and then continue on with my Lake route. A little bit of an oopsie there because you can't see what you're doing when you come out of a painting immediately. Kind of annoying. Some slick 13 captures movement to get this. And then some more slick movement actually. Getting those 3 purple coins. And then I'm going to get 3 other really quick ones that right here. Just falling through the kingdom. And then, remembering that I need some coins for the outfits, I grab some extras right there. And then Captain is cheap to go down and talk to Toad. And that's going to be about it for Lake. Pretty slick split. Very quick. Not too much extra to do. While you're going down, you can kind of take a little bit of a moment to think about the routing you want to do for the rest of your bingo. You can see here that what I'm doing is I'm marking the 6 checkpoints from sand in green rather than navy, because theoretically I would have had that done with if I had gone to the right kingdom first. The rest of the route is totally unchanged, but yeah, I will be actually completing the card, but just for the sake of the tutorial, I will be marking it as though I've already done. So there's Captain Toad and Lake. I'm done. I'm done with Wooded as well. Time to go off to Cloud, do Lost, Metro, Snow, call it a day. Oh, I haven't marked Lakitu Fishing yet. Whoops, I totally forgot about that goal, honestly. So Cloud, typically not much is going on, but in Bingo, there can be exceptional utility for having an extra 200 points. So knowing the Cloud hint art strat can be invaluable. Even if you need to take a little bit of time loss to do it the slow way, it's really good to know where the hint art is. That way, once you hit the first phase of the fight, you can go grab that hint art, take a little bit of a slower second phase, and then finish it out. But that nets you an extra 200 coins. I need 900 to finish my run because I'm planning on getting a shot moon in Metro. Unfortunately, I mess up the easy part of the fight because I'm a little bit out of place. And then I also mess up ground pounding this, so I'm a little bit worried about whether I'm actually going to be able to get a decent first phase of this fight. Thankfully, I'm able to hit Bowser right before he jumps away and get a decent manip onto the second phase, but a little bit of time lost there. Kind of stinks. But typically there's a quicker strat you can do to lose no time getting those 200 coins, but happens, you know. Tough game, lots to keep in mind, lots to keep track of. And at this point I'm also thinking about my lost route and realizing, okay, if you miss that Luigi hint art, there is another one in Lost. I don't need it. I have enough coins to avoid it. So I literally am just looking at an any percent lost, which is very nice. Any percent lost is one of the coolest splits I think that the game has to offer. So always love to see it. I don't quite do the very optimal strats, but I do most of them. I do reverse torpedo, I do cage triple. The only thing I really don't do is the very fastest version of reverse torpedo and the very fastest version of meme tree. Uh-oh. What's happening? It looks like my recording froze. Pardon the delay. I will be right back. Okay, here we are. Sorry about that. I think my video recorder just had some issues. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Yeah, getting a nice clean meme tree, doing a triple throw strat to get the butterfly. Good stuff, good stuff. Some of the most satisfying movement in the game, honestly. Super fun. Minor mistakes here. But now setting up for reverse torpedo. Essentially, I'm going to be throwing Cappy to the beetle guy here, doing a roll boost, grabbing this moon, and then once I grab the moon, I'm going to come back up to the top. He'll break this moon block open for me, and then it'll be really quick. Very, very nice time save, one of my favorites. And here comes another hard trick. Cage triple. Again, throwing Cappy to the beetle guy. Grabbing this moon and spin pounding down to the last moon in the kingdom. I felt like such an idiot for that. Oh my god, what's happening? Looks like I'm having some software issues. Alright, there we are. We're back. But anyway, don't know what's going on. Typically, my stream does not have these issues. I have good upload, and I think this is just an issue with my video player. But I will upload the actual VOD itself. It shouldn't have any issues. Sorry about that. So anyway, here are the moons. Getting the nice dump. What I'll do, I'll upload the original VOD unlisted, and I'll put a link to it in the description of this video, if you're interested in taking a look. So what's left? Really not that much left to do. I need one more painting moon, which is kind of troublesome. Since I went to Wooded first, I have the option of getting the one in Metro, since it'll go to Wooded rather than the lake. Wait, did I think about that wrong too? Oh shoot, no, I thought about that wrong too. Wow, I'm silly. So the original justification that I gave earlier is actually wrong. But first of all, getting some extra purples in here. I also need some points since I took 2 deaths in that Lost Kingdom, unfortunately. But the way that the painting chain works, when you go to Wooded first, you'll have a linkage from Metro to Lake. So I wouldn't even be able to get the Wooded hint art. So I was just entirely wrong in my initial assessment. There was no reason to go to Wooded first in this. I should have been going to Lake. So very poor misplay from me earlier, unfortunate. But so much to keep in mind. Tons of different ways that things run into each other in this game, and really gets showcased really well by this category. Getting some more purple coins. And some more yellow coins, actually, from killing those beetles. And here, Cappy did not come back to me, so I thought I was going to do a spin throw there, but I unfortunately just dived off, leading to some issues. Doing Metro City Hall purples is a really important skill to have for all purple coins and all moons, 100%, but I messed it up, and I messed this back up as well. Not my finest City Hall, but it happens. Ultimately, I think I just try to take it a little bit safer. Grab these purples. And then just climb up this escalator a little bit normally. And then finish it off for grabbing these guys. Not ideal, but happens. So coming up, we're going to fight Wiggler. Wiggler is a boss that has a lot of downtime, so it's a really good time to think about the way you're going to route the rest of the kingdom. That's sort of the place I'm like, okay, if I'm doing Metro and Snow, what else do I need to do to finish off this run? So I'm thinking at this point, okay, I need to get the 3rd moon from Wooded Crates. That means I need to go into the outfit room in Metro. I need to purchase my 7 costume sets. I have 906 coins. I'm good. I can buy my 4 remaining costume sets. 4 of my 5 remaining costume sets, excuse me, with yellow coins in Metro, and then buy a shop moon afterwards. And then I have 15 purple coins already, and I'm going to get a lot more before I enter the shop for my 40 regional coins Metro goal. So I will have enough to buy the purple outfit, and that'll be my 7th full costume set, my 40 regionals Metro, and my 3 moons from Wooded Crates. Perfect. In Snow, I just need to get my last War Painting moon with Snowdram. I need to get 2 Snow Barrier moons, and then a 3rd one for the goal on the bottom right. So, very, very straightforward, and then I also need to backtrack to Sand to finish off that goal. So very straightforward. Easy to keep track of. Not too difficult. I have all this routed. I know what moons I'm going to get, what order I'm going to get them in. And now I just need to execute. So that's it. That's it for the rest of Night Metro. I'm thinking, okay, so Day Metro is probably going to take 4 minutes-ish with an any percent route. 4 minutes, 20 seconds is a good estimate. So add about 30 seconds for the outfit room rather than bullet building, because that's the two that you swap. The slowest moons in the any percent route currently are the bullet building moons, because you want to just warp from inside an iron girder, which I will be doing, and instead I'll be swapping that out with the outfit room for the moons from Wooded Crate. I need to figure out how I'm going to get my 40 regional coins, which are pretty quick, in line with the route. I'll be getting those right off the bat here, at least most of them. And I know what I'm going to be doing in snow as well. So I'm making quick work of those 8 purples. Getting set up to get up to, I think, 32? I think I get 32 at this point, because I can get 9 quick ones through the rest of the route. And Cappy's an idiot and decides to home on those coins rather than the pylon, which I find kind of amusing. Cappy can be an idiot. As he was right there. But here we are, lots of purples, 12 purples. And now going to be proceeding with the normal 90% route. First up, a nice scoop clip, tilting my controller like 180 degrees over, just so I can turn my scooter a little bit into the wall and clip it to get that moon. Now, getting my last purple coin moon, my next purple coin outfit. That'll put me at 3. And then in the next shot, whoa, you just go over here. I can get my remaining 4 outfits. There's half of one. Here's a nice little trick to minimize the number of clicks you need to do. When you need to buy 4 shops for outfits, you can just do 1 ZR click to the right, save having to scroll over a little bit. And then you can do 1 ZR click to the left, get back to the thing you just bought, and then be on your merry way. It's a little bit of a time save, but not too important. Those are my favorite types, though. I kind of like the small ones that don't require that much effort. But here we are. 8 coins left. It would have been really nice if I hadn't died and lost, because I would have basically been at like 910 without having to get a little bit of extra ones. But, ah well, what can you do? Saying hi to the depressed man on the bench. Making his day. Love to see it. Mario, a truly kind soul. Now we're gonna grab some purple coins and then get inside an iron girder. And typically, with the any percent route, like I mentioned earlier, here's where you go to bullet building. You would get slots. I got Metro Shop instead, and then you'd go over to bullet building. Very quick sub area, but instead, since we're going to get outfit room, we're going to be doing that. Accidentally missing one of those purples there. I don't need it, but whoopsies. That was a silly one. And then I think I have another mistake here too. I didn't realize that you can't get these purple coins with a down throw. So I end up only getting 1, which is very silly because I need 40. Then I also missed a spin throw on this pylon. Just total imbecile. But I have some extra purples I can get anyway. Just a little bit of a goofy mistake there. So now, basically doing some any percent movement. Unfortunately, no bullseye. A little bit off. But getting the spin pile in the next shot. Now grabbing the other 3 purples that I mentioned earlier. There's 41 out of 40 that I need. And now setting up for outfit clip. A little bit of a weird one, because it's just a roll clip. You don't need to roll cancel. But you do need to be in a pretty precise position. As you can see by my missing 3 times. But there we go. Gonna get the fourth. Fourth time's a charm, as I like to say. Or maybe I'm a computer scientist and I count at 0. And then third tries a charm. But here we are in the Metro outfit room. This is actually something worth mentioning. So it's kind of hard to remember, or to know for certain, that this is not only the third moon from Wooded Crates in this route, it's also you can't get a third before that. So it's the earliest instance that you can get 3 moons from Wooded Crates is in Metro. So it's important to know the times you can get certain goals. Particularly, the moons from Wooded Crates can be trolly, the view hint arts can be trolly, the moons from music notes can be trolly. So very good to have that in mind. And there's a nice little cheat sheet that you can use to get started that has a lot of those trickier goals listed in the earliest time that you can get them done. Another one is the 2 moons from Goombas, like I mentioned at the beginning of this. Oh, I didn't realize I did this. Let's see, am I gonna get this? No shot. Dude, I haven't done that in forever. That's sick. So that's reverse people's room. Essentially, you can do a triple jump off of that garbage can there. And save just a little bit of time by getting that moon before the timer challenge runs out. I'm so glad that I did that. That's so cool. But anyway, that's it for Metro Kingdom. Very nice. That's cool. I'm happy. That made me content. But now we have snow left and then sand to finish it off. So at this juncture, you can either go to Snow or Seaside. It's another one of the things that makes Bingo cool. You can decide which kingdom that you want to end in if you have to go to Snow or Seaside. You don't need to go through Snow in order to get to Seaside. You don't need to go through Seaside to get to Snow. And typically, the way routes work, you're only going to want to do one. You're never going to want to do both, basically. You're only going to want to do one. And in this case, I chose to do Snow, although there was probably something at Seaside that was acceptable. So right off the bat, I'm like, alright, 3 Warp Painting moons, need to do Snowdrown. Super clean Vector. Very good trick. But there we go, that's 3 Warp Painting moons. Now making my way over to Shiveria, where you can get the barrier moons. One of the annoying things about Snow, however, is that in order to get enough moons to get an outfit, you need to enter one of these barrier rooms. You can't just get enough from the outside and inside of Shiveria in order to buy them. But since I just need the barrier moons, I can do this nice, cool-looking trick jump. Somehow avoiding damage from all those spinies. Typically you need a damage boost there, but got over all of them, which is pretty cool. And there we go. Very quick work at this room. All story moon strats. Now, another really quick story moon. This is probably the quickest one. If there's a moon, there's a goal that for 1 barrier moon in Snow, this is the one you want to get. So you can literally just do that vault. And hey, what's up? We're already there. So that's 2. 1 more goal left, aside 6 checkpoints in Sand, and then I'm done. So typically, the way Bingo works, there's a few ranges that you can fall in for ending. If you get a card that can somehow be finished by Wooded Kingdom, it's possible to get sub 40, even sub 35. Sub 35 is incredibly rare, and sub 40 even is pretty rare. But it's possible, and that'll happen if you're finishing in Wooded most of the time. You can get a sub 40 if you're finishing in Lost sometimes, but that's even more rare. That might even be more rare than a sub 35, to be honest. Although I don't know if we've even seen a sub 35. Maybe a 40's gotten one. But anyway, very rare. Unlikely you're going to see a sub 40, but possible. I think the fastest ever Snow or Seaside finish is 40 minutes by me and Neo. in one of the tournaments that we've run in the past. I think I was using, oh, there we go. That's time. 43:18 if I had gotten 6 checkpoints instead. So that would be time. Pretty good run. 43 minutes for a snow seaside finish is pretty damn good. Typically, if you're going all that far, you're going to get somewhere between 45 and 55 minutes, depending on how bad the card is. I would expect that you're always going to be under 50 minutes if you play really well on any card. However, that's very hard to do, and sometimes you're struggling to figure out what route's actually the best. So, best to judge around 55 minutes is an upper limit for a card at a top level. But anyway, as you can see, I'm now going to be finishing the rest of the route. Need to go back to sand to get a checkpoint. When I make a mistake like that, I try to think, okay, what's the best way I can back this up? How can I possibly get this 6th checkpoint as quickly as possible? I'm thinking, okay, well, in sand, the only ones that are available are the one at the top of the tall tower, the one at the very northwest of the kingdom, yes, and then the one on the Moai Island. The one on the Moai Island is the best one because you can just take a bullet all the way over there. So I warp to this checkpoint. I'm like, hey, okay, gotta do this as quickly as possible. Have a little bit of a movement mistake there, but nothing too major. And here we are. Just gotta grab this checkpoint and that's it. 44:48. Very good time for a seaside finish. For a snow seaside finish. You can see I have all 6 checkpoints in sand, and that'll do it. So pretty good overall. As I was saying, the breakdown is you're gonna expect around a 40-minute finish for a wooded card, around a 45-minute finish for a Lost or Metro card, and then around a 50-minute finish for a Snow or Seaside card. This was an exceptional Snow Seaside card, I think. Kind of rare to get one that's this nice. I played it decently. I think I could probably have gotten around to 41, 42 on it. Just with a few minor things, mainly City Hall and then the deaths and Lost, but overall not too bad. Typically the things I want to say about bingo, just from a general, okay, here's how you should play perspective. You want to, first of all, like I said at the beginning, eliminate the slow goals. There are some deceptively slow ones, like 7 8-bit moons is one of my favorite ones. It's a goal that's accomplishable by loss, which is really nice typically, but it's also a scary one because it means you need to do a lot of slow ones. You need to go into the inverted pyramid like I'm doing right now, and you need to get some slow ones in Cascade. So, not ideal, want to avoid if possible. Some other ones are 6 moons from music notes, which means you need to get 2 in sand, 2 in lake, 1 in metro, and 1 in seaside, which is very daunting a task. And you need to be aware of those traps when you're routing. You also need to be aware of what you can do trick-wise. Mainly IP skip, nut clip, IP clip are the main ones, as well as lake clip. Those are some really important ones that'll change the way you're able to think about bingo cards and how to string goals together. And lastly, like, you just need to be thinking about how you can look cool. Like, honestly, you're like, wait a second. This could look like a really cool route. Because I've found in doing bingo, if I'm thinking, hey, wait, these goals string together super nicely, typically it's something to look into. Because one of the coolest things about this way of playing is it lends itself to real creativity in terms of what movement you do and the parts of the game you actually get to see and experience. So keep an open mind to all that stuff, and it'll be good. So this is kind of my tutorial for bingo, in my, I guess, a showcase run of sorts. Apologies for these few frame drops. I don't know what was going on. I think I just had too much stuff running on my PC at the same time, because I have a lot of schoolwork that I have running in the background, some code, all that stuff. But the VOD's totally fine. I will upload it by itself if anybody's interested in watching the parts that are not great for whatever reason. But that'll do it. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So